Come here today to Surrender Bridge because I've been going stir crazy in the house and I thought it was time to get out and explore a bit, just to get away from everything. There's some guy doing some Tai Chi or something over there, running around. The hills are alive with the sound of music. I don't think he's noticed me, and he certainly hasn't noticed that I'm vlogging him. Oh dear. Right, where was I when I got sidetracked? By the guy singing "The Hills Are Alive." Surrender Bridge is an old lead mining area between Langthwaite and Swaledale. It's not been worked for quite a long time, but there's still a lot of spoil heaps around, and there are plaques up to tell you what happened where. Up on the hillsides they mined, and you can see the remains of the tunnels, and I'm going to walk to one of the other lead mines in the area, which is probably actually part of this one, but it's a couple of miles further on. It's very windy today, but it's always windy here. The coast to coast comes across here. I've chosen this area today because it's less muddy than everywhere else. Oh, this is the building, the lead mining building that's the closest to the road. So I'm just going to take you for a little look in there. It's not a very nice day. It's not as windy as it can be. This area is usually really, really windy, and it can be extremely cold, even in the summertime. I have brought the camera today. I've not brought the tripod, but I've brought the camera. It's drizzling a little bit. There's some quite nice definition in the clouds though. I might get some good black and white. And I might get something for the Facebook group, Landscape Photography on YouTube UK. So this month's theme is black and white. And this area lends itself to black and white. So I shall have a look around. There's a notice board which tells you a little bit about the place. And there was a water wheel here in this area, and you can see over there and over there. I think they were the wind flues and where the water came down. I'm not really sure exactly how it all worked. There's rather a nice picture through this wall, through this hole in the, well, old window. And there, you've got the windows and you've got the little road snaking away. That little road leads down to Helaw. So you can see where the wind tunnels or flues or water came through. And this is the smelt mill where they extracted the lead from the ore. The rain is getting a little bit heavier, and I'm going to walk up to the other mine now, which is a good mile or so away. and I might take a couple of images while I'm here. You can see the shooting butts over on the hillside. This is grouse shooting territory. And here you can see where they've been burning the heather. They burn the heather in patches, so you end up with this patchwork area. And so that there's always somewhere patches of old heather for the grouse to hide and patches of new heather for the chicks to feed on, and so on and so forth. So the light is playing today. It was raining just now, and but that seems to have passed over for now. It's cloudy behind me and blue skies ahead of me. So I'm going to crack on and walk to this other lead mining area. You can see where the snow's actually drifted across here, and even 10 days later it's still quite deep. So you can imagine all the problems we've had recently with getting about in the dales. This road will have been inaccessible. I was involved in a project to do with grid squares in the Yorkshire Dales, and I had several grid squares that were in this area. You had to go to the grid, find it on your GPS and take a picture from it. Some of the areas were really good and other areas were quite poor actually. It was hard to find compositions, but it got me out and about. So in that respect it was really good. I got a front page of the Yorkshire Post of one of my images too, which was quite a proud moment. Well, we're approaching the other mine now. As you can just see it in the distance there. Probably still looks a long way away on the back of this screen. I used to go mountain biking around here quite a lot. This one's got a distinctive big chimney, which is going to make some good photos, I hope. Very much winter colours still. In the summertime these greens and the mosses are a lot brighter. Everything's still sort of yellow coloured. We've got a Facebook friend who's a photographer, and last year he got his fellowship, and he does fine art photography and fine art nudes, and he takes his nudes to all locations that are outdoors and abandoned buildings and such like. He was doing a talk in one of the clubs in the area that we went to go and see, and he asked us for some locations. So one of the locations we brought him to was this, and I'm still awaiting seeing the images a year later, because he tends to not process them for about a year. He travels all over the world shooting nudes, and the nudes very much fit the landscape. He sort of arranges them so that they look as if they belong in the landscape. So we brought her here, and we went up to, you can see past the chimney to the right, there's an archway up there, and he posed her along that. That was the main shot, and then he posed her in a couple of areas, and he posed her in this doorway next to the chimney as well. Take a shot here of the sign. Should be some other signs, this one doesn't say very much. The lighting's quite nice now. You look up there, whoa! So I'm hoping to get a shot with this light. Probably looking in this direction from further back. There's lots of cool stuff here to shoot, even if you haven't got a model. So this is one of the areas where I think this was a flue. And it goes right up, and you can see right up on the hillside. Everything continued to go right up there, and the mining was up there, and the chimney went right to the top. There's a little tunnel thing. And here's the remains of, not quite sure what this did, but was the little bogey. They were intact when I first moved up here, but they've all disintegrated long since now. And I think this was the area where there was a water wheel. But I'm looking for a nice moody shot of something like this. I didn't bring a tripod, so I'm not going to film myself taking any shots. But I do have my camera in my bag, and I will take some shots. You can see some of these tunnels. I'm not quite sure where they all went, whether they were wind tunnels or whatever. Well, I've been hanging around for a while waiting for some light. The clouds have thickened up quite a bit. There's patches of blue sky, but the light is a bit fleeting. It's nice to be out though, very nice to be out. Got too hot with a silly hat on, so it's off. But it's a bit windy. Just been talking to a couple who are going for a round trip walk today, about 7 or 8 miles I think they're going to do, going to go right round Pinseat. And they've got a daughter similar age to mine. So trying to get into university and look around and there's another little hut, that one's been repaired as well. It's a nice little composition. There's quite a lot of these little entrances that have got water coming through them now, but these would have been used to bring the carts of lead through. Up here is the peat store on the top there. can just see it. There's not an awful lot left of it, it's just the pillars left. Very rugged up here. There's even more lead minings further on. There's lead minings all over the whole area. If you continue over the tops of the hills up that way, there are lead mining workings. You end up in Dunnaside Gill. If you go around this way, there's more lead minings. Arkengarthdale's full of lead mine workings as well. It was the main industry that employed people up in this area, and but it was a very, very hard life. And working with lead, which is highly poisonous, and lead fumes, people's life expectancies were about 40. Oh, that's a little birdhouse. One of the entrances. Not quite sure. Looks like one. Bit of sun come out now. The day seemed to have improved as it's gone on. Had my lunch now. Been out a couple of hours or so. And I should be sort of heading off home again soon. I've only seen a couple of other people. Not many people about really, but it's not a weekend. You can see the shooting butts over there. Still quite a bit of snow on hillsides. And this is the archway up here. Where we've Tim Pyle did his model shoot. And quite a bit of snow still. So I think that's me done. Hope I've got a few shots and I've enjoyed myself anyway. It's nice to get out and about, and it's somewhere that you might want to come and visit as well. And if you're into mountain biking, you'll love it. Over and out.